The biggest reason you don't have what you want or you're not accomplishing what you want to is because you keep trying to figure out what do you need to do. That's inherent in all of us. We figure out, what do I need to do to look better? What do I need to do to make more money? What do I need to do to have a better relationship? When in reality, you should be asking yourself, we should all be asking ourselves, who do I need to become in order to attract the things that I want? You have to figure out not only what you need to do, but who you have to become in order to do that, to attract that. You know you want to look better, then you have to change yourself from your mindset, your discipline. You want to make more money, then you have to address your disciplines, your daily work habits, your goals, your procrastination, all of that kind of stuff. You want a better relationships, then you need to become the kind of person that's more attentive and paying attention and has more clear defined goals and structure in your life. That applies to everything. So, you don't have what you want. Instead of asking other people, hey, how did you do that? What did you do? You need to ask, what don't you do? I said that previously. What kind of person did you have to become? You want to get healthy? Well, guess what? You have to make a decision. And decision, the word decide, its roots comes from to cut off. So when you decide that you want to make a change, and that means you got to cut off from the old stuff that you're doing. You want to get in better physical shape and you decide to do that, then you got to cut off the bad habits. You got to cut off the bad food. You got to drop the drink. You got to drop the bad habits, the self-destructive behaviors. You decide you want to make more money, then that means you got to cut off from the old you. You got to stop wasting time. You got to stop spending hours a day scrolling. The average American spends, I think, 4 or 6 hours a day scrolling on their phones. What could you do with that time? 4 to 6 hours. You don't have to spend all of that doing something, but what if you took 2 hours of that to work on something to improve yourself? I am proof that making a decision and making those changes works. And I'm just trying to implore you to do that. It's not, you're never too old and it's never too late to start over again. But for some reason, we get this thing in our mind that I'm too old, I'm middle-aged, whatever. You have a lot of time. Statistical age average says in the 70s, but in reality, look around, there's people living in their 80s, 90s. I have a grandmother that's over 100 years old. If I have her genes, I'm 48. That means I have 55 years left to live. So what are you going to do? You're going to settle in where you're at and just accept that as your reality and say, woe is me, and this is my life, and I can't do anything about it, and ride that out. The worst thing that's going to happen if you try and fail, at least you know you tried, and that's better than living with the what if, the regrets of the what if, right? So I challenge you because I know you can do it. I did it. And if somebody like me who was in the position that I was, I destroyed everything. I was as low as a person could get. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to live. And now I love life. And I'm not saying my life is perfect because it's not. I still make mistakes. I still have bad days. I medicate for depression. I medicate for ADHD. I'm trying to get off of that stuff. So I'm not trying to sit here and sound pretentious or trying to preach to anybody, but man, life is short and you have to enjoy it, but it does take a decision. And there's going to be an internal battle that happens with that because you still have to live with that old you that you're trying to cut off from. And that old you and that new you is going to get in a fight and in a battle every day. That's those demons. Because that old you doesn't want to die. It's comfortable. It likes it. It knows what it is. Even when times are bad, at least you know where you stand from a point of status. When you decide and you want to do something new, well, now all of a sudden you're walking into the unknown. You got to put yourself out there. You got to be vulnerable. You got to take chances. I promise you it's worth it. And I promise you you're capable of doing a lot more than you think you are. So what I want to do today is just encourage you to start thinking about the decisions you would like to make. That doesn't mean you have to make the decisions today, but start thinking about the changes you know you could and you should and you need to make. And you don't do them all at once. You start slowly and you start implementing them. And then as you start to see that change happening and you start to see that weight come off and you start to feel better, and when you drop the drink and your skin's getting better and your insides feel better and your energy's getting better, and when you start seeing it in the mirror, then it becomes easier and easier and easier. And then like attracts like. I'm a big believer in frequency and law of attraction and spirituality, and you get back exactly what you put out into the world. So think about the kind of person you need to be in order to attract those very things that you're looking to accomplish in your life, and you'll get it. Let's go.